Everything is blap. Everything is blap. Everything is blap.
BLAPCHAT.
BLAPCHAT, 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 BLAPCHAT. Do. Are those gunshots?
Atlas always has a random ass sound.
Brah. Here we go, baby. Please rise.
No.
Okay, no, we're not gonna go there.
No, we can't do that.
We're gonna get fucking canceled.
We'll be in trouble.
Anyway, what's up, guys, man? This is BLAPCHAT, episode 108, I believe.
Josh?
Yep. Josh, do you know? Josh?
Josh just shakes his head to anything.
Josh
just
goes,
says,
yep,
yes.
yep. He
Yes.
says it confidently.
You're right.
Yep, that's
Josh, we're episode 406, right? Welcome to BLAPCHAT episode 108. This is an all music production podcast. I go by the name of Illmind. I'm here with my amazing co-host.
It's your girl, Perfection.
You already know.
Yep, it's your boy Atlas, the
Plug. Yeah. Shout out to Glam.
Glam skis.
Good lyrics and music. Our girl Glam couldn't make it to this episode, but shout out to Glam. She's here in spirit.
Love you.
We love you, Glam. And we're here, man. BLAPCHAT episode 108. I first want to shout out all of our subscribers, all of our listeners, whether you're watching on YouTube, listening to us on the train, on the way to work, at work, in the car, wherever you are right now, listening to us, man. Shout to you guys. The gym, you know what I mean? Shout to all of you guys who've been supporting all of our day ones. Also our new listeners as well.
Yep.
If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I'm gonna assume that you're probably like a creator of some sort, maybe a music producer or an artist or a singer or engineer, or maybe just someone who's curious about how this stuff works.
Right.
You know, so like the majority of what we talk about here is music related, music production related, so it's like business stuff and creative stuff. So, if you're a creative music person, then this is the podcast for you. So I feel like this is like episode 1. It's crazy.
I love it.
But shout to all of our listeners, man. Hit that
always
subscribe.
feels like
it
episode
does.
1 for
it
me,
does.
doesn't it? Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Hit that subscribe button. Hit that repost button on SoundCloud if you're on SoundCloud. And we're here. So, so much has gone down in the past couple weeks, because it's been a couple weeks since our last show. Shout out to my brother who came to the last episode.
Yes.
It was an awesome episode. But before we get into everything, I want to do a couple announcements. And At has like a million things coming, which I love. So, why don't I just hit this?
You got to add that. Yeah, let's add that.
There you go. So I am coming to a number of cities I'm going to be visiting in the month of September and October and November and December. So for the rest of the year, visiting some different cities every month for my Pass the Aux tour. And if you've been listening to the podcast, you already know what's going on. But if not, basically I've been doing this for a couple years, and I'm traveling to different cities every month, and I'm basically booking a private studio, and I'm inviting a small handful, 20 to 30 up and coming music producers, artists, engineers and creatives to come to the studio and hang out with us and do some networking and listen to each other's music. So it's called Pass the Aux. That's sort of a short description of what we do, but it's been really, really amazing experience. And so if you're interested, if you're a producer or an artist or an engineer and you want to come play your music for me and for your peers and network with some other people in your city, I highly, 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 highly recommend you pull up. And you can find out more info on that on my website, illmindproducer.com, to book your tickets in September, this month, obviously. September 23rd, I'll be coming to Philly. So that's going to be crazy. The 24th of September, I'll be in Washington, D.C. That's sold out. And then the 26th and the 30th of September, I'm doing New York City. So pull up to those. In October, I'll be in Denver, Colorado, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles. In November, and we just announced these cities, in November I'll be coming to Nashville finally, and back to Atlanta in November. I did Atlanta twice earlier this year. It was fucking lit. And then in December, to wrap the year off, we're doing Toronto and Montreal. It's going to be cold as fuck up there. but it's gonna be fun. So
Toronto?
Toronto.
When?
That's the beginning of December.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So we're
Winter
gonna do
time.
winter time. So if you heard your city and you want to pull up, go to illmindproducer.com, book your tickets ASAP. They're going pretty fast. You know, it's very limited slots. It's a small handful of you guys. So hope to see you there. Also, you know, I've been reintroducing my Illmind Platinum Club to you guys. So, you know, not to go too far into it, but basically I started this club called the Illmind Platinum Club, and you can do all sorts of cool things like join the private chat room that we have going on. Also collaborate with me, submit sample loops, and if I like what you submit, we collaborate and do some shopping, get you some placements, and then there's all these really cool videos that I like to deliver to my club members that go in depth on literally everything and anything to help you in your career. So really, really cool stuff. For more information on joining my monthly membership club, again, just go to illmindproducer.com and check that out. And you guys already know I got more kits and loops coming, and that's that for you guys. What do you guys have going on? Atlas, what's up? I know you got some stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm doing so Virgo season, as you guys know.
Fucking
Virgo season is here.
You're looking
Virgo
at three
season.
Virgos,
Three
here,
Virgos
baby.
in the house.
Motherfucker.
Virgo season is upon us. Let's go.
My birthday.
All my Virgos out
My
there.
birthday's next week.
So
next
we're gonna.
Thursday.
So
you can
we're
cash at me.
There you go.
Cash App.
Cash App.
Actually,
Quick
right?
pay,
No.
everything.
Yep. Same here. Same here. Atlas the plug and all that. But
Send that money.
get
Shh, money.
yeah. But anyway, no. But seriously,
Matter of fact,
yeah.
fuck you if you're not a Virgo.
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Motherfuck you.
All right. So September. Keep that moving.
I'm actually so kidding.
So no, he's kidding. Of course.
I
Of
love
course.
all
So
people.
love here. Peace and love on BLAPCHAT.
Peace and love.
So yeah. So I'm celebrating my birthday September 19th.
Hey.
Of course, the BLAPCHAT team will be there.
Yep.
I got More Soup Please is gonna be DJing. Jay Ricks from Spotify will be
Nice.
DJing.
Shout out to Jay.
Yeah, my man
The
Jay's
homie.
moving. September 20th. So the roller parties have been super popping. The roller skating parties.
Oh my god.
So I'm doing that the 20th, September 20th in New York as well. I'm bringing back True Masters. True
Hey.
Masters is coming back.
Let's go.
October 12th will be the next True Masters. For those who don't know, it's 8 dancers, 8 music producers, and 8 MCs. Put them into groups of 3. The beat's 3 minutes long. First minute is just the producer. Second minute is the dancer. Third minute is the rapper. Crowd picks the winners. It's crazy. So
Amazing.
if you're interested in any of that. Oh, also, Respect the Engineers coming back. Me and my man Cruz.
Yes.
We're doing a New York City date right around Halloween. We're doing a pop-up. Respect
I gotta
the
come to
Engineer.
that one.
That's, dude, it's going to be lit.
I'm gonna pull up to that.
Yeah,
Cruz
we're
been
good.
working too.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's crazy.
He
He's
been
out
working
there.
with fucking Meek and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah,
and shit?
Justin Timberlake, and he's doing the whole tour with YG, Meg Thee Stallion, Mustard, YG, of course, Cuzzo, Meek, and everybody. So
Amazing.
shout out to Cruz. Just keep an eye. If you're interested in any of that, just follow me, Atlas the Plug, ATLAS the Plug, and it's all in the link in my bio.
Amazing, man. Amazing.
Yeah,
Perfection. You're doing a lot of traveling. Is
Yes.
there anything?
Yeah.
Is there any information you can divulge to them in terms of stuff to pull up to?
Nothing anybody could pull up to
Nah,
yet.
You not invited, son.
Yeah, it's
I was going to say
exclusive.
super VIP status, guys and girls. Sorry.
Nah, there's some cool shit I'm working on.
Yeah.
I'm working with 2 new artists. Shout out to Luca. She's a singer-songwriter. She's
Sick.
super dope.
Mm-hmm.
And this kid Eli, his pen is crazy.
Oh, Eli's
so
dope.
I'm super excited to be working with them. I'm going to LA next week.
Hey,
Yay.
we out
It's
here.
gonna be
We out
crazy.
here.
We're gonna link,
We
and I
out
have
here.
something super special that I'm
Yep.
working on
Mm-hmm.
in Atlanta next month that I can't really talk about until they actually promote it themselves. But it's a huge opportunity, and I'm super grateful for it.
Yeah.
So I'm just prepping for that, getting
Yeah.
my beats together for that, getting my shit going, because when opportunity presents itself,
That's it.
you got to take it
You
and be
gotta take
ready.
it.
So I'm just working on these new beats, sending these packs out, hoping something sticks soon.
Yeah.
Good for
You
you.
know?
That's
It's that
amazing.
grind, and it's the continuous grind for all of us, man.
And the traveling, going to LA is gonna be so.
All
so
that
lit.
shit.
Yeah, I love LA. LA
Yo,
is just
Special energy
anytime
out
I
there.
think of LA, I just get this big
Yeah.
smile in my
Yo.
face.
Yeah.
Like it's such a great city.
Yo, and fuck the two of you. You at the event last night and no one let me know. But anyway,
I know.
Anyway,
Atlas, you know what?
I see you guys. I'm like,
I
yo,
know.
what the fuck?
See,
I
what
didn't even know what's
happened
going
was-
down last
I
night?
didn't even know it was gonna be there.
Yeah, I didn't
you
know.
didn't know? Okay, I was
didn't know
like,
it was
damn,
gonna
we gotta
be there.
pull up.
And not for nothing,
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was happening. I
Right.
found out yesterday morning.
Yeah.
I hit up. I saw a flyer that
Mm-hmm.
Track Girl posted, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's tonight."
Nice.
And then I hit one. I saw Wanda was gonna be there.
Nice.
So I'm like, "Oh shit!" So I hit Wanda up. I was like, "Yo, I want to pull up to your thing tonight," and so we made it happen. And then fucking, I'm there. And like
I know, it was on the group text, and then,
Yeah.
and then you were like, "Yo, I'm over here." I was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, what the fuck?"
it's like, where am I?
I was.
Me and Illmind randomly
If I wasn't
ended
doing
up at the
something, I was
same-
about to shoot over there right
Yeah,
there.
we randomly
It was an
there.
interesting event.
It was
Like,
really
the,
great, yeah. So really quickly to plug them because I think it was a cool event.
Yeah.
Shout
Yeah,
to,
shout 'em out, shout 'em
to
out.
Remy,
Remy
Producers.
Producers.
They're doing. I don't know a lot about it, but it looks like they're doing beat battles in different cities. And they narrow it down to a few people who get chosen by the judges. And I think the three main judges are our guy Boy Wonder, Track Girl, who's super dope, and Zaytoven.
Nice.
And so
And I think Jermaine Dupri, too.
Dupri. I think the number one winner gets
Wow.
a collaboration with Jermaine Dupri.
Amazing.
And they fly to Atlanta and do all that stuff. So shout to them. They did it in New York last night. Envy was the host.
Fire.
And
Our
and it was
other
cool.
fellow Virgo brother, DJ MB.
Yes,
There he is.
yes,
Shout out to
exactly.
Envy.
He is a Virgo, huh?
Yeah.
That makes sense. So it was really cool, man. Shout to the winner. It was down to two producers, and I thought they were both dope, right?
Yeah.
Perfection, like they kind of both
Yeah.
deserved it. But shout to the winner of New York. He's not like the ultimate winner yet because I think he has to battle someone else from a different city, and then they kind of go up the bracket. So if you want to know more about it on how to enter or go to an event, just go to Remy, search Remy Producers. I think in fact it's remyproducers.com.
Fire.
Yeah.
I think, and you can check it out. So
It
shout
was
to
an
them.
interesting
Shout out.
event. I liked. It was weird because there were a ton of models there.
It
Of
was-
models that
it was
don't
like a
know
fashion
shit
week
about
event.
like music producers
Yeah.
or nothing. But I did like it because I feel like a lot of times when I go to music producer events, it's too many men,
I agree.
and that can be so like,
Yeah,
like I
no.
don't mind being. I'm never intimidated being around men, but it's just the dynamic gets a little boring for me. It's too like too macho and, like,
now that you say that, I'm even more mad.
Yeah, I know.
There's all models there. Why wouldn't I want to be in the place?
We're just
where
rubbing it in.
whatever.
There's
Yeah.
all
Rubbing it
models.
all
It was
in.
there's
whatever.
Music
It was-
playing.
You
There's
didn't-
good
you
hip
didn't
hop
miss
on.
anything.
No.
You know what I do? I usually
They
go to
had free
these
food.
industry events
Okay.
for food and
Nice.
drinks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The food and the
Literally,
drinks.
Nice.
I took advantage of the hors d'oeuvres. I like
Yes.
The hors
food
d'oeuvres
and
were
That
drinks.
is a
good.
must. That's very true. Very
Yeah.
But it was a cool event. It was
cool.
It was cool. It was interesting. I'm glad I
Yeah.
saw somebody that I knew in there.
Yeah, I told Perfection when I was there because I pulled up Dolo.
Oh.
And
You're like, thank
in my
God.
mind, I'm like, well, I'm going to be there Dolo looking like a herb.
I was looking
So-
like a Herb Dolo.
Yeah. So me and Perfection just like hung out the whole night.
That's
It was-
fire.
It worked out.
Good.
So yeah,
good.
shout to Remy Producers.
And Track Girl,
Yeah,
too.
shout
She
to
wants
Track
come
Girl.
on the
Track
show.
Girl.
Who, by the way, so Perfection got to build with her, and I didn't get a chance to really build with her as much as I wanted to, but we'll do that here. So we're going to invite her to the show. So we'll get Track
Hell
Girl
yeah.
here. She lives
In New
in the
York.
area. Yeah, she lives in
Amazing.
the area now.
Oh,
so.
that's I can't wait.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
shout to Track Girl.
Shout out.
She left early yesterday from Marquee.
She bounced. She bounced.
We had an interesting night, me and Illmind.
Yeah.
It's
we
pretty
did.
funny.
Got some pizza.
Yeah.
Talked about the world and
So, yeah.
evolution.
Those are the
and-
best
This is
nights.
what you
man.
do.
Those are the best nights. You just go in, you know?
That's the real shit.
Yeah.
Like talk about the real shit.
That's
man.
the real shit.
Like the reason for our existence.
You know.
Why are we here? It's
Yeah.
insane.
Like, how do you guys think we came on this earth?
Yeah, I'd like to know that. You know what? Me and Perfection know each other's
Whole
idea of this.
conversation.
Alice, what do you think?
I think
The
we
big
came
question
here
is
from like
this.
a comment.
And I know-
like a
I know-
dust comment.
Like-
I know this isn't like directly producer related, but fuck you guys.
Fuck
Yeah.
it.
And I want to know what you guys
I want
think.
you guys to let us know. We had a random question. We had a random conversation last night, me and Illmind, talking about life and evolution and like all
Yeah.
this shit. And like, where do you guys think us as humans came from.
Right.
Yeah,
I
what's
have
our
friends-
purpose?
Yeah, like I've had friends tell me we evolved from fish. People think we
Right.
evolved from monkeys. People think God put us on this earth.
Right.
Like all of that.
Hallelujah.
Turn to your neighbor.
Hallelujah.
Yo, the reason I'm laughing for people that don't know because we were doing this for about a half hour before we went on the air today.
Hallelujah. Atlas, what is your opinion on the purpose of why human
Well,
beings
listen.
exist?
Hold on. If I say it, then you guys got to say yours
We'll
too.
rebuttal,
We can't
yeah,
just
we'll
say
rebuttal.
mine, and then you guys don't say
Go
anything
for it.
about it, and then you make fun of me the whole time. That's not happening
No,
right now.
I guarantee you it's not crazy.
I think personally, I think we came here from like a planet blasted into the earth,
Mm-hmm.
and from whatever, some dust or water or something, we kind of came from that, and that's how it'll happen.
Yeah.
That's what I
See
think.
that. I agree with you, actually.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
And that's, and after millions and millions of years, we're fucking here,
Somebody said life comes from a woman. Well, duh.
Of course it does.
But
Men are
where are the
trash. We're
humans?
trash.
So, okay, so
come
here we go.
from?
Okay, so does that mean, I like this convo. So does this mean that the woman was the first one created?
But how was she created? By who?
By-
what?
by
That's what
the-
we're trying to say.
Yeah.
From the
Where-
from the evolution kind of the single organism and then multi and then the whole thing
I
kind
don't-
of like
Okay, here's my thing.
I think
Go ahead.
like is it from water or something
Right.
from like a water from a rock that smashed into the earth
Here's
millions
here's-
and millions of years ago.
Somebody just said aliens. We are a science experiment, and someone
Okay.
else said from
All right,
God.
so you guys tell me because I don't
Okay.
know honestly. If I
I
knew, then
told
fucking,
him that
what do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if we evolved from monkeys.
But that makes sense to what I'm saying is how we started as we evolved from a single thing and then multiple organisms.
Here's
and
my
then
rebuttal
into
for
all
both
that.
of you guys. I told you a little bit about
Yeah.
it. And you guys listening, I want you to do this right now. Hold the number 5 out of your hand. Take your hand and hold the number 5 and look at the back of your hand. Right? Now look in between your fingers. What do you see? They're webbed.
Okay.
Our fingers are webbed. What species are known to have webbed feet and webbed hands? Reptiles.
But monkeys have.
Monkeys don't have
What about
webs.
They don't
ducks?
have webs?
What
They're not
about
webbed.
ducks?
Ducks,
Ducks have them. What about
sure.
like
Well,
those beavers and stuff have them?
sure.
Beavers have them and
But
stuff,
the
don't they?
this is reptilian, and there's our skin is scaly. There's scales.
What about the Little Mermaid?
Little Mermaid.
I hear the engineer laughing over there. He chuckling over there. So I want to know what he
Reptilian.
thinks back
Yo,
there.
what about Aquaman? I'm just trying to figure all this out, guys.
Aquaman was in fucking. He did a great job
Somebody
on
said
Game of
frogs.
Thrones.
Somebody said we didn't evolve from monkeys.
Here's long story
I
short.
don't
Here's
know.
my thing.
I don't fucking know this.
I don't
No
believe
idea.
we came from evolution,
Okay.
natural evolution. We
Right.
didn't evolve from monkeys.
Right.
I don't think.
Okay.
I think that we were created by something
Okay.
because we're too advanced.
Complex.
We're too complex for
Like
natural
like an alien or some other life form.
natural things. Like for natural things to happen over a massive period of time.
So who was the first one made like that?
We don't know.
We don't know.
That's what we're trying to figure
We don't
out.
know.
Who was it first and where?
I
it
also
came
don't
from.
believe we're from Earth.
I do agree.
Well, we're not. I just said we were from a fucking rock that
Illmind
smashed
said
into
something
we're not.
yesterday, which I kind of
No, we're from like something hit Earth.
We are from a different
like
planet.
an asteroid,
Our species.
like an asteroid or something.
Yeah, like something
that.
big and it had water on it and maybe.
Think about this. We're the only mammal on Earth that burns our food. We cook it. That's number one. We're also the only species on Earth that has no hair. So we have to kill animals and skin their fur and put it on ourselves, aka clothing. Those are two huge red
I
flags.
mean, we have hair.
I do think.
have
yeah,
hair.
but where did it all go? Why
We
did it
have
disappear?
hair.
We need
from
it.
all the years of wearing clothes.
Humans need no.
So that's why we do have like you have hair on your face and your stuff. But all the years maybe of wearing clothes. I don't know.
We're not. We're and like
Our
we require
conversations
like
get
the
weird.
perfect temperature, like
Yeah.
70 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything higher is too hot. Anything lower
But
is
that's
too
a lot
cold.
of and that's a lot of species on Earth. Like for instance, in the water, like, all the way down in the bottom, there's animals that can only live in
yeah,
that.
but they have mad
environment.
tools. They have mad tools to combat all that.
life is fucking
What about
crazy.
in the
They got
Amazon?
tools. We don't have tools.
In the desert, there's there's animals that can only live in that
It's true.
temperature.
Sure, but they have
Everything
the tools.
has its like.
Why did our hair
We have the
disappear?
tools. We have our brain. That's why we're advanced, because we're really smart.
Illmind said something yesterday, which I agree in a sense of like we're a specific type of alien, and I can agree with that. Like
I
we are
agree,
so
because we are a
complex, and
planet
there's
in the
so
universe.
much- but there's
yeah.
so much to like the human race, like a human being, that like we're fucking aliens.
Yeah.
I was telling him that one of my
I
friends
believe that.
recommended this
Okay.
documentary to me that's on Netflix about this guy that used to work at Area 51 as
Yeah.
like an engineer / like technician or scientist, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that they used to have him, like he said they had alien spaceships. Like
Yeah, I
real
know. I
alien
believe it.
spaceships.
Yeah.
And that they used to have him like disassemble them and try
Yeah,
to figure out
the same guy was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I saw that episode.
maybe, yeah.
And
So-
and how the government even tried to get rid of his name, like if
Right.
you like his name, you couldn't look him up.
So he was saying
make him
that
disappear.
like the technology that they try to have him, kind of look into that was like alien spaceships was so advanced that like they couldn't even figure out
Yeah.
how it became what
Yeah.
it was because it was just way beyond our understanding.
I believe
so
it.
I'm like, and I believe him. Like, there's
believe
shit that
it.
the government is definitely hiding from us.
totally believe it.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe that there probably is. There are aliens out there and like technology that's so advanced that we don't even understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's that, and we're just like a less advanced version of that. Like we're fucking aliens ourselves.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
We won't ever know the answer, but we're aliens. What up, sus?
I mean, but technically, wouldn't we be aliens to any existence in any other planet? Because that's not what
Yeah.
an alien is.
Yeah, we're aliens to them. You know?
shit gets weird. We talk about weird shit,
Yeah.
but
So
back to
we're
the
not from
music.
Earth. We're not from
Yeah.
Earth.
Yeah.
Listen,
Oh,
not
you know
surprised
what?
there.
Illmind did ask yesterday if you think there's music on other planets.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
That is
do
a
do
very,
other
very
do
good
other
question.
species not only listen to music and consume it in the way we do, but are they attracted to the same frequencies and chords and
I think they
and
have their
I'm
own
gonna say yes.
frequencies and
I'm gonna
chords,
say
but
yes.
I can't say they out here listening to
I'm
like
gonna- yeah.
mumble rap.
well,
Yeah, like they don't go grab a mic and
They
go.
don't got
like,
can you
mumble
imagine
rap
an
on
alien
fucking-
language mumble rap?
They don't got mumble rap on fucking,
Oh, man.
fucking Pluto. I mean, yeah, Pluto. I guess
Maybe
Future,
maybe
right?
though the way they express it is in a different kind of format. For instance, for us, we have headphones and we hum and we dance around. If we ever see like when the birds, there's like a million of them and they all fly in sequence, maybe they're all dancing.
Yeah.
Or when the birds are chirping, right? Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
that's
that too.
music to them.
Yeah,
It's
weird,
exactly.
yo.
That's music.
Or
to
even
them.
like the monkeys, or like I don't know, like the horses and stuff. Or I don't know, but I'm sure they definitely have
There's
some
actually-
kind of thing they do together. That's almost like a chant or synchronized.
Well, it's interesting because with animals, they don't have the brain capacity to register and enjoy music the way we can.
Right.
But it's
I saw this
interesting.
documentary on that.
Interesting.
Which is
But it's
really
interesting because when you think about it, right, and that's why like life is so complex, like the same shit we was talking about last night in the world, because animals have their own way of communicating, so they understand their shit. Like we have no idea what the fuck they're talking about or what they're communicating about. So we say that they obviously don't understand us and our level of communication, right? Because like animals don't speak our language. They're not out here like conversing how we do, but they have their own way of conversing. So
You know what's
It's just
interesting
crazy.
is like any of you guys. I know you have a pet. You have a pet too, right?
I did my
Okay.
doggy.
Bobby, that's right. I'm sorry about that. But yes, so like, for people that have had
All right,
pets
sus.
before, even like with my pet, like with my cat, sometimes I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the fuck is going? Like, what are you thinking right now?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Look,
Exactly.
so
like, what are
Sus
you really
One-
going through? Like, what's going through your
So
mind?
DJ Sus1 is in the chat and he says the alien agenda is to support the Earth being a sphere agenda. So we think we are a small speck in a big cosmic accident. The Earth is flat and God is real.
I'm
we
retiring.
had that conversation
man.
yesterday. Is the Earth
I'm
flat?
retiring.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
No, but listen, there's we don't really know the truth with anything. To
We
be
don't.
honest with you, we look up in the sky and we have no fucking idea.
Somebody said, "Too bad the birds never heard of Just Blaze. They'll be blown away."
That's funny. That's funny. That's great.
That's hilarious. I think if we tried, somebody said, but do you think if we tried, could we understand them? I don't think so, because I don't think we even understand what
now,
they're trying to say.
So.
Here's a crazy idea.
I really don't.
Why are human beings considered to be the most advanced creature on Earth? Like, why us? Is it? The reason behind it is because we have language and
the stuff we're building
and technology.
Well, I think we only know what we know, which is us. Right. So we think we're the most advanced.
We think we're the most advanced.
When we compare ourselves to, like, we're talking about animals and like just other.
So here's
mammals.
What about like army ants in the tunnels in the ground and
they
stuff?
think they're the most advanced.
Right.
Who's to say that dolphins don't think that they are the most advanced?
Looking at us like, look at this dumb motherfucker over here. Dumb human ass asking me to jump and do tricks. I know what you're asking
me. And then the birds are like, look at these fucking creatures, like building.
When they chirping, they're like, look
at these little motherfuckers with their little metal cars with the burning fossil, burning fossil fuel, which is, by the way, like dead matter.
Right.
So they're burning all these dead bodies to get all this fuel to move around. Meanwhile, this motherfucker's like flying in the air. Like, think about it, man.
Yo, dolphins are like, this dude can't even come in the ocean and fuck with me. Like, he's a piece of shit. Fuck this guy.
Look at this little motherfucker trying to swim.
You trying to splash around? Oh, that's real cute.
Yeah,
look at those little webbed feet. Look at those little webbed feet on that human.
You were better off millions of years ago when you had your webbed feet on your ass. Get the fuck out of here.
Yo, we can talk about this shit all day, but it is
it's true though. Humans are trash.
Yeah, humans are trash. We're trash.
We
can't swim.
Just fucked the earth up.
We can't swim. We could barely walk. We're not fast when we run.
We could barely talk sometimes.
We could barely talk. We try to climb, but we can't climb. We're weak as fuck. We have no hair. Like, we can't swim. We can't fly. We need metal. We have to burn our food.
We have to, cook our food, or unless we don't.
Fuck that.
That's hilarious.
You know?
Somebody said we barely understand humans as is. That's a fact.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, listen, guys, in the comments section, let us know what you think about what we're talking about. Why are we here, man? I think that's very interesting. Also, too, is there music in different?
Somebody said
different
trap
galaxies?
music has been old on Neptune. Maybe Future's an alien. That's why he's always talking about like Pluto and shit.
Trap was fire like millions of years ago already.
Somebody said, how about the pyramids? What happens to our spirit when we die? We don't know. How will we know? We were even talking about like in the year 3000.
Right.
Like Illmind was saying that, you know, we're going to be wiped out eventually. And I agree with that for sure. Like,
we're going to be gone.
You know what I mean? Like,
but here's the crazy thing. In 1965, the world was as it was, right? Who was president in that time? Like Nixon or something? I don't know.
Something like that, right?
So none of us in this room were born.
Correct.
1965. So, which means that we weren't created yet. But the world was still going. And so we had no consciousness. We weren't conscious yet because we weren't born. So what was happening like before we were born? Like, where were we?
Shit gets deep.
Like, where were we?
Nothing.
Nothing. We weren't there. We weren't even there.
We were in our dad's balls and our fucking mom's ovaries. And fucking, I don't know. We were nowhere. We were shit. We were nothing.
Yo, there's so many things that we don't even fucking know.
You know, do you feel me? Like,
no, I feel you. Right.
Fucking, where the fuck were we?
Yeah.
Where do we come from, yo?
Like, we just came from out of nowhere, like from dad's balls.
I don't know. Like, it's just crazy. Like you were saying, we came from like water or like dust.
Right.
It's so crazy just to think and like wonder because we're so complex. Like even the insides of our bodies, right? Like just how our body functions, like our brain,
which is like 90% water too.
Like
right?
how was that even?
How do we know? What's in there?
And they scan. They have technology to scan your body. I think it's called an in-body machine, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but how does the brain know?
And that's
The brain only knows what it
Process.
the information that is given to it via our senses.
Correct.
And our senses, as we all can agree, are pretty limited.
Mm-hmm.
We have eyesight, right? Where colors and light reflect into our eyes, and then that gets processed into an image into our brain.
Right.
And then we have touch and taste
Hearing,
and smell and
yeah.
hearing.
Mm-hmm.
So the brain is like forming this world around us based on what's given to it.
Correct.
So who's to say that we know exactly what's happening right now when we're only limited to what our brain thinks is happening?
But even the brain itself is so complex, and it's such an interesting thing that I feel like we can't even fully grasp and understand what it is. Like, there's obviously, people that study the brain and all this, but like, we're fucking aliens. Our brains are made from aliens.
Yeah.
Our brain is an advanced technology that aliens create.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's possible, right? Now?
Somebody said
I
you're
think
a
you're just here.
professor.
You do whatever the fuck you got to do, and then when you're gone, and it's whatever you did while you were here is your history.
Somebody
Yeah.
said they feel like we're here to help advance, which is another question we were asking. What is our purpose as humans on this earth? So someone said they feel like we're here to advance our species. We're here to grow, learn, and pass down knowledge to help future generations thrive and live better lives. I think that's exactly what we were saying last night. Like, everyone has their purpose. Like, you have a purpose that you're kind of trying to live your life based off of, and then you pass that down to your children, and then they live based off of what they learned from your purpose, but then they develop their own, and then they teach their children. So it's like, you know what I mean?
So it's always
ongoing.
different.
Generations,
So it's not really
different generations of purposes.
So it's not
but
necessarily just one thing, because, and the reason I say that is because you have, God, we're going in here, but fuck it. So like,
Go in.
you have like these different religions, right? And they all genuinely believe, and you have this religion believes on this one believes in that, and this one believes in that, and they all believe they're doing the right thing. But are they?
There has
And then
to be.
another question is, what is the right thing? Maybe that is for them.
I'll tell you, here's my response. Hallelujah.
Turn to your neighbor.
Peace be with you. I think that when you zoom out like a telescope, you zoom out and you look at the world, you look at humans as like a one species, considering what you said, perfection, it looks like human beings are really just trying to procreate and create as many humans as possible. Right? And would you guys say that's the same goal for every species?
I was thinking the same thing, yes.
Sharks, birds,
Ants, bees.
ants. They're just trying to. So then why do they want to populate?
I don't know if it's the goal. I think it's just a way of life, right?
Life.
Like, that's just what you do.
Just
You
make more.
create.
Right.
Like,
Just keep making more.
Yeah, it's like, one, as human beings, but just as like just animals, right? Like, they like love, right? Like, you need. How can I explain it? Because it's gonna sound weird talking about.
No,
animals,
listen, we
but,
talk about fucking
everyone,
balls
Everyone
already.
needs connection, right? Everyone needs connection. So obviously, like, even if you're not trying to procreate, you're within that action of, like, let's say,
Trying
like,
to find a partner.
having
Yeah.
sex, right? Like,
Right.
like whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
So even if you're trying to procreate or not, like, that's what you're doing. And obviously, yes, one of the goals and one of the things that comes out of that is procreation. But I don't know if it's like, okay, let's, all of us horses, we're here to, like, continue to have babies. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's just a living thing that's just a part of its life. That's what it does.
Yeah.
Now, us as humans, I think we're so advanced that we see into the future and feel like we have to create generations, right? So that's also what we do. But what's the bigger purpose of just, like, the human race existing? I don't think it's to procreate. Like, what is it? We won't know. We won't ever know.
It could be, we could just be a distraction to the real civilization inside of Earth.
Dun, 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 dun.
Somebody said we all just need to storm Area 51 with the rest of the crazies and get the answers. I agree.
Listen, this is perfect because This is a special alien episode of BLAPCHAT.
Word.
This has to be said.
Someone said the biggest brain melt for me is the construct of time and how it relates to our perception of time. Like people waking up from a coma thinking a couple minutes passed, but it's been years. That's true. But that's the brain, right? Like that's a part of the brain.
I have an interesting story about someone being in a coma. I had a friend that was in a coma.
Wow.
And
For how long?
And it was in high school. I think it was like 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks. And he was in high school, and we were in high school, and he went to a coma doing drugs, actually. And he was saying when we went to visit him, you know, because when he got out eventually, you know, we asked him, like, yo, do you remember when, you know, we to come see you? And he was like, I do. He's like, and I could hear everything everybody was saying.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
He heard everything.
Everything. He's
whole
like,
time he was
everything.
in a coma?
Yeah.
Wait, but how can you be in a coma and hear everything? Like, what is that? How does that
Meaning-
experience?
Subconscious?
Meaning, no, like his hearing, he said he felt like he was in the shell and he couldn't move. Like they were like, everything was off. His whole body was off. But he said he could hear and even like see. He could see everything that's going on, but he just can't move
He just couldn't move.
at all. Literally.
Or talk.
Nothing.
Or talk.
Nothing.
Holy shit.
Nothing.
But that's not the case for everybody in a coma,
Yeah.
right?
Nothing.
I think
No,
that-
it's
I don't
not.
know because I don't know anyone else from a coma that's actually came out that I can speak to.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you.
So he pretty much was like hearing everything around
He said,
him.
"Yep." He said, "He goes, I heard everything. I was literally a vegetable. Like I couldn't move at all.
And he couldn't open his eyes
Nothing.
either.
I mean, even if they were open, it doesn't like I don't even know. I couldn't.
Wow.
Everything was still. Everything was like off.
Wow.
So he could hear everything. I mean, if his eyes are open a little, maybe I don't know. I didn't get that deep and ask him if he could see. I was just like, he said, yeah. He's like,
I
oh
would
yeah.
ask
He's like,
him
I was.
all those questions.
No, I mean, we
crazy.
did. You know what I'm saying? But you got to remember, like, he just came. You know, he just got out. It was like up in the. You
That's
know,
crazy.
you don't want to go too deep right off.
Shit,
right, the thing.
I want to interview him.
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah, no, I was definitely fascinated with it as well when he said that.
You know, speaking of that, they're starting. I think Elon Musk was talking about this, or it might have been Joe Rogan. They figured out a way to upload our consciousness to a computer.
Yeah, I heard that in Joe
So
Rogan, something like that.
our consciousness uploading to a computer basically means that if you do that after you die, you still feel alive.
That's so weird. That's
Like your
alien shit
consciousness is still like active. Like you die and then you're not in your body anymore, but you're like in a computer. And
How do you do
there's
that?
certain and you can still
like some algorithms. And
Yes.
stuff that like know your personality.
yeah, and that just like they take all the info. I don't personally believe
right there. Yeah, I don't believe
like
that.
I believe maybe there's like an alien race that has figured that out, but I think that's way too advanced for us
Yeah.
right now. I don't think
That's Area 51 for
yeah,
sure.
that's some fucking Area 51 shit right there. Speaking of Area 51, we have an amazing guest
We
today.
do. Yes, we do.
His name's Jacob.
Jacob.
And Jacob, I had the pleasure of meeting at my Pass the Aux event in Toronto earlier this year. Actually, that was last year's Pass the Aux. And amazing producer, really, really great producer, great sound designer. And so Jacob recently fully scored the entire Travis Scott documentary, which is awesome, by the way. Did you guys
Yeah,
watch it?
I saw it. I liked it.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I
Really,
liked it.
really, really, really great documentary. I have so much more respect. I already had respect for him,
Mm-hmm.
massive respect for him, but so much more now after watching the documentary. So respect to Travis and shout to Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
He scored the entire thing, and he's also done some stuff for Kylie for her stuff and a bunch of TV and film placement. So he's really into the TV, film, licensing, sound design world, and scoring, which is really something that, I mean, shit, me personally, that's something that I personally would want to get into at some point in my life. And I'm sure a lot of you guys listening are probably interested in that as well. Not only is it lucrative or could be lucrative, but it just sounds really fun to do. So shout to Jacob. We're gonna talk to him today and get some insight on the Travis Scott documentary, scoring it and how we got the gig and all that stuff, and how maybe you guys could look into getting into scoring and sound designing yourself. So let's give Jacob a call. All right, so we're here on the phone with my man Jacob. We blessed you with a nice little intro, Jacob, before you hopped on the phone. But welcome to the show, man. Let's give a nice warm round of applause to Jacob.
Hey.
Big fan of the show, so I'm happy to be here.
Great, man. No,
Appreciate
thank you
that.
for your support, man. And it's cool. Me and you got a chance to chop it up. I met you at my past aux in Toronto. What was that last year, I think?
Yeah, last year. Yeah, great event. I got to meet a lot of people there, and a lot of things have changed since.
Yes, I'm sure they have, man. And I remember you playing Fire that night. And I mean, I always say that Toronto Past Aux events are always the best. Like, I'm not being biased. They're the best in terms of like pretty much 100% of people there have like Fire.
That's
or
something in
above
the water.
average.
There's
Yeah.
something in the water, you know what I mean?
I'm an
good
American. I
city.
always say it's poutine or maple syrup.
It's one of the two. So I'm from Nova Scotia. Originally, it's on the East Coast, and we have Donair and Donair sauce. If you
There
guys
you
ever
go.
get a chance, check it out. I think it might be some of the Donair floating around. And
Oh yeah, amazing. So let's jump right in, man. First of all, congratulations on scoring and helping produce the sound and everything for the Travis Scott documentary. Round of applause for that. That was awesome.
Yes,
That's
there you
crazy.
go.
Thank you.
Really, really cool doc. So why don't we start there? How did the Travis Scott documentary come about? The getting into a relationship with those guys and building up to that point.
So you know, it's a little bit of a long story. I'll kind of bring it back a bit. It all really started with a good friend of mine, Tyler. So he's the director of the film. White Trash Tyler is what he goes by. We've been friends for like 14, 16 years, something like that.
Nice.
So really, really long time. Like, we came up together, bought our first laptop together, our first camera together, and like over the last 16 years or whatever it's been, we've kind of been working up and all the way to this project. And Tyler moved to LA, I believe, maybe 6 years or so ago. Started working in the Kanye camp, and that's where he originally met Travis. Eventually, Travis kind of asked him to come onto the road. And when they got on the road, both of them together decided that, the footage they were filming and stuff had a lot more potential than just, clips on Instagram and stuff. And that's where kind of I started getting involved in helping put everything together. So, yeah, as you mentioned beforehand, I helped with the editing, the sound design. I got to do some cool sound design at Skywalker Ranch, which we can get into in a little
Awesome.
bit, and score as well, too. So I think I hopped on board about maybe 2 years ago, around this time in 2017 is like when I got the first hard drive, and just started diving in.
Wow, that's amazing. That's great, and I'm so impressed by like the editing and the
so
music.
well done.
It's like it's not a typical quote unquote like music documentary. I think there's emotion. The storytelling is great.
Yeah.
How difficult was it to like have all this footage and all this potential, storyline to tell? What made you guys sort of tell the story in that way?
There is just terabytes and terabytes of footage, so a lot of stuff.
Imagine.
And as Travis was on Bird's tour and recording Astroworld, and then goes on the Astroworld tour, like Tyler's continuing to hit the road and come back, and we would work together, and he'd hit the road again. So it was kind of this living and breathing thing. And I think one way that me and Tyler really like to work, which is a bit non-traditional, to what usually happens. Sound is always something that comes at the end of the project. So, they film it all, they put the sequences together, and it's almost like the sound is an afterthought. But for us, the way that we work is like sound and visuals, they pair so well together. And when you're like in the same room with a person editing or vice versa doing the sound or whatever it is, it's like you can come up with some new creative ideas and ways to create sequences. Like, I think a great example of that in the film is the creation of Butterfly Effect. And you see him literally, go from plane all the way to in the car, into the studio, on stage with it, and then we kind of go out. And, one of those things that I think keeps that sequence really well together was the idea of pairing the music, like the music really keeps playing the whole way through.
Yeah.
So it kind of connects this whole piece, and you hear the music from different qualities, from the VHS camera all the way to the produced version to the on-stage version. And it's like when you're able to think of those things while you're doing the edit, and vice versa, like, you know, the editorial team can come up with some like really cool ideas and different ways to present options. So
that's awesome. Yeah, and it almost reminds me of like how when you're making a song, if you're recording vocals, let's say you're the producer, engineer, or whatever, and you're recording vocals with an artist, and I'm personally a fan of engineers or producers behind the board who sort of like mix along the way,
right.
So that like when you're listening, when you play back a certain take or a hook or a verse, and it's like kind of mixed and not like completely dry, then you get a clearer idea of like what decision to make next, right? And so because you're not treating the audio as an afterthought and it's sort of happening at the same time as the editing, do you feel like that process has helped you guys like make that next decision of like, okay, this scene ended up being super impactful, so maybe we can do like this scene next or cut this here or whatever?
Totally. And like, you know, I think in general too, like having both of those things, like you said, it really helps with figuring out what the actual vision is and the idea, and moving forward. So it's definitely like a non-traditional way, but I think like, you know, I'm a laptop producer, you know, like I do everything on my laptop.
You use FL.
FL Studio, and Tyler's the same. Like he does everything on his laptop and stuff. And so that idea of us constantly just like being able to move and work and not have all these like bits and pieces slow us down is like definitely for us like a great way to work. And
amazing.
Interesting. Was all the music you guys put in a documentary from the artist, or did you guys maybe get tracks elsewhere?
As far as for
the documentary?
Yeah, so it's all based around Travis's music.
It's all Travis's music in there. Everything.
Yeah.
Nice.
How did you guys get like inspired to create the music for, you know, the documentary? Like just choosing what sounds you wanted to use and just putting all that together. Was it like you going over the footage and kind of seeing like the different emotions that it brought in so you can know what sounds to use? Or
yeah, definitely. So like I think the biggest thing that I learned throughout this whole process, because this is my first time doing something, especially something this big on a scale, and so one of the things that for me, it was like stepping back and actually just listening to Travis's amazing catalog and thinking about the synths and the sounds and the delays and like how we can kind of pair a lot of those instruments into the scene so that they work within the world without being too jarring or forceful.
Right.
And I think one thing that I've always, I don't know if you guys ever felt like this, but like, you know, when you go to the symphony and you watch like a piece and they say, oh, this is like a 14-minute piece and it's all about, I don't know, this guy falls in love with this woman and she's in love with this guy and he gets shot. They tell you this whole story. And to me, like, I never really understood what they meant when they used to like tell those stories and how music can like really speak to you, because I come from the hip hop world and the lyrics really speak to you. Yes, there's a feeling with the beat and stuff, but through this process, you know, taking a step back and finally kind of cracking the code of like, if you use these type of instruments or do these type of things in these scenes, it really gives these emotions that you want the viewer to feel. So that was like definitely a big learning curve for myself, is just like figuring all that out and then picking the right textures and stuff. So, and
I think it, aside from it being a learning curve, I think it also challenges you, you know, to kind of like get creative and use your ear more to create a story, you know, behind like a visual. Because even like early on in the documentary, like the parts where they were showing him like, you know, his quote unquote, like the ragers raging, you know, in certain scenes, it was so many people, like his fan base is huge. So the footage is insane, like just the crowd going back and forth and mosh pitting, you know, and then just knowing like what music and what instruments to put behind that to kind of still make it feel, you know, like it's strong. Big. Yeah, exactly. So I think that challenges you, you know, as a scorer, like producer, to really, you know, open up your ideas.
And the coolest thing I think for me too is like having learned all this stuff and using, like, I'm using a lot of VSTs and stuff that I would have never discovered. I'm now taking that stuff and I'm like blending it into the samples that I'm making and the beats that I'm making.
Right.
So like I've learned so much about, like, I'm a way better musician now. You know what I mean? After the 2 years of practice.
Yeah, and it allows you to create new ideas. You know, it helps you, you know, expand your sound.
Yeah,
exactly.
That might be an interesting. Go ahead.
I was about to say I'm sensing a drum kit coming out of Jacob.
Fact.
Or sample kit or something, loop kit or something.
And samples.
Actually, Atlas, you actually put me on to Mario.
Yes. Okay.
So I
my guy Mario Luciano.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember one day you guys were talking on the podcast about his sample kit that he released, and it was actually in a box, and it came with all these like other parts and stuff. So I copped that, and then that led me to doing the sample kit. So yeah, I got something in the works, for sure.
Jacob, you need to send them all to me.
Shit over here. I want to flip some.
Send them all to me.
Let's go.
Send one to perfection, and then the rest to me.
I got you all.
Thank you.
Amazing. So obviously, you know, as a music producer, you know, this type of gig, I'll call it a gig. I don't know. I hate that word, but this type of work is definitely highly desirable, you know, like, and I was even telling the guys, like, you know, at some point in my own career, you know, this is something that I can see myself doing later on, or something just like to dive into. What are some, like, this is your first time doing something of this magnitude, right?
Yes.
So
this big. I've done other things in the past similar, but nothing this big.
So from your experience so far, like, you know, what are some sort of like pointers maybe you can give to some aspiring, you know, producers that are looking to get into this stuff? Like, what are some pointers that you've kind of learned along the way so far to maybe try and get a foot in the door to do something like this?
Yeah, for sure. It's so funny. A lot of the things that apply when it comes to like production, as far as like, you know, you guys have mentioned this a lot on the show and stuff, is like become close with like the people that surround the artist. So like, let's say the engineer and stuff like that. I would say, you know, a great example of that is like, I've got to do so many cool projects, including like last year I did a weekend documentary, which I scored and did the sound design for on Apple Music.
Very cool.
And I had that connection because I knew the director, because the director was friends with Tyler. So like the same way that you can like kind of be involved in the circles, it's like you can do the same thing with film. And like to anybody aspiring, like there's some individuals probably right now in your city that are shooting music videos, that are wanting to do films and stuff. And if you can get a chance to meet them as they grow out through their career and you grow through your career, you know, that's a straight connection rather than having some sort of middle person in between you guys. It's like a real relationship. On top of that too, like definitely when it comes to the scoring, to your point earlier, Illmind, is like a lot of individuals, like myself, I didn't think that I was going to get into doing what I'm doing now. Like usually you're right. It's like you get all the plaques, you get all the placements, and then you turn to scoring usually. I did the opposite approach. But the reason that I did the opposite approach, and this is where I see like other individuals doing the same thing, is like I've had a chance to network and work with so many awesome artists that like if I would have went to them and been like, hey, I have a beat, I'm just like a dime a dozen. There's so many people doing that. But there's so many different like places that you can bring value within the audio world, because these guys are doing everything from like I've done multiple commercials for rappers, for singers and stuff, where like they just need their music edited so it matches the 20-second commercial. It could be scoring stuff like the Travis stuff or like the Weeknd stuff. And then, you know, everything in between, even like some sync options and stuff like that too. So there's like a whole wide world out there. And the other thing too, I would say, is like most of the DAWs actually can do this stuff. Like I was really surprised for myself that FL Studio has something called the video player. So if you actually wanted to compose or make beats around whatever it is, you actually have that option. And that's why I still use FL to this day. And a reason why I think I've been able to get a lot of these gigs and stuff is because I'm using gross beat. I'm stretching things. I'm doing all the things the producer would do to create like a production track, but I'm doing it in this whole new world. So when the people are hearing it, they're like,
it's foreign to them.
Yeah, and they're not thinking, oh, it's like a knockoff from that guy down the street that said he could do hip hop, but he's not part of the culture. You know what I mean? So I think there's a great opportunity and chance for like a lot of producers, a lot of kids of color to just like get in there and make some waves and make some things happen. Because one of the things that I really realized being in this industry for even the short time that I am is like definitely underrepresented by people of color. And you can even think of things like Black Panther, for instance, like a very black movie, like from facing forward. But when you pull it back behind the scenes, like it is a white composer, did an amazing job. I'm not saying at all that he didn't, but white composer, white sound designer, and a bunch of other individuals.
Right.
And so I think, we're part of the culture, we're part of the conversation that's, I think, starting to happen now. And I think if we can kick open some doors together, it's just a chance for all of us to do something that we love.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting conversation because, just talking to you about it, I do feel like it's a little it's kind of like a little underrated role. I feel like a lot of people kind of like what you said, want to be the dime in a dozen. Like they want to be like, I'm a hip hop producer, R&B, which is great. But I think there is so many people like that are trying to, be that we forget about stuff like sound design. Like you can, in a couple years compose the sound for a movie and people would hear your music in a movie theater versus just on the radio, now you're opening a whole you're dipping into a whole different world, and kind of like what I said earlier, it helps you expand your sound, like in the sense of just, like you say, utilizing VSTs and different sounds that you never used to use before. So it just makes your music more creative, but it also expands your resume. Because now with these artists, they might look at you to also do their videos, their documentaries and things like that. So it just helps you build your sound more and also your relationships and your resume.
Yep.
Exactly. Like I'm hoping that, doing like this is a hip hop doc. There's going to be so many hip hop producers and artists that see this. Like, I hope that I get to collaborate with those people now. Like, I can maybe actually get some placements and some things that I've always wanted to do, but kind of haven't had the chance because I created this kind of like back door into the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
and that's such a huge talking point moving forward. Like if you randomly end up in a studio somewhere and there's an artist in the other room, who you've always wanted to work with that you haven't met yet, just the simple fact of saying, I helped produce and score the Travis Scott documentary, that person probably watched it, and now that gives you a little bit more leverage, or it gives that person more interest to work with you as opposed to just being like a cold call,
But have you produced any music for Travis?
Not for Travis. That's definitely one of the goals moving forward and stuff. Sure. To be honest with you, like my head's been down for the last 2 years, really working on this project and making sure that I delivered the best stuff that I could. But yeah, moving forward, like my main goal in general is to work with artists and collaborate with more producers. Like I've been working with, I know you guys interviewed Francis Got Heat on the show. Yeah. I've been working a lot with Francis.
Shout out to Francis.
Some stuff with Boy Wonder and some other stuff. So yeah, I'm just trying my best to take everything that I've learned from this world and apply it to that, because at the end of the day, like that's what I've always loved and what I always wanted to do was produce and be a part of rap and rap culture any way that I could. And I know the movie and some of the other things are a part of that, but also getting some records and working with some individuals is definitely the goal.
Yeah. Amazing. What's great too that you said, Jacob, earlier, you said how you wanted to kind of move around in your city and find people in your city. And that's like the thing that we talk about all the time on the show is like, you have to build locally, with people and then work your way. And then the smart thing you did, which was genius, was you leveraged your talent for the video and the audio and use that to kind of build with other artists. And I think that's a great move. A lot of people like you, like we were saying earlier, just want to give them the best beat. Yo, I'm the dopest producer. Here's my beat. But you're like a dime a dozen at that point. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think one of the great things for any producers that are listening and thinking about trying something like that too is like there's so many directors probably in your hometown that are shooting music videos for the local rappers, right? And a lot of those videos have, some sort of, not scripted, but they usually have intros and extras and stuff. Like if you're a producer or somebody, if you can provide some value to that director shooting the music video for all these rappers that you want to work with and stuff, it's like, how easy of an in is it for then the director to be like, oh yeah, so-and-so, he did that stuff at the beginning. You got to check out his beats. You know what I mean? And there's so many ways that you can kind of figure out a new way to network and a new way to grow. So
true. That's so true. And like that's just true all across the board. The whole working with your peers and networking and growing together. And that's like, not only is that the answer, it's the answer that no one wants to admit is true.
Right.
Because that means that this will take a long time.
Right. And you have to work.
Yeah.
You have to put the work in.
Basically means I have to work, I have to wait, I have to build with people, and certain things that I help build might not work, and I have to be okay with that. You know, so those are the types of sacrifices it takes.
For sure.
You know?
And like the process is all part of the journey. And like I would even say to that point is like, you know, the person that I've known the longest is like Tyler, like 16 years now building this relationship. I think the coolest thing about this whole project, stepping back from the actual project, is the fact that I got to see somebody that I really care about create, you know, a movie, like direct a movie. And like that's been the coolest thing, to see the leadership qualities that have come out of him, to see just like him in charge. And like, you know, some of that stuff is like, I wouldn't trade that for the world. So even if that is a long process of whatever it is, 5-10 years or whatever, it's like when you build that team, you're so excited when people in your team win. It's like you're winning together. It's that's better than anything. So go for it.
It's very, very true. What's happening moving forward right now that you can speak on, Jacob? What's in the works?
As far as stuff in the works, I have a bunch of sessions lined up. I can't get into too many details, obviously, but
Nice.
We understand.
The big goal for me moving forward is to place some records and just make some things happen. Like one of the things that I can't tell you how many kids have messaged me saying how inspiring the documentary is, and one of the things that super inspired me growing up was like watching the Carter film and being like, whoa, he doesn't need a studio, he can just do it in the hotel room, or like just seeing like the barriers broken down of how hard you actually have to work as well too, when they run in and they're like, oh, you have platinum, you know, 1 million in the first week, and he's like, oh, I'm just still recording. And so I don't know what it is, but after this movie came out and I got that feedback from all the kids saying how inspiring and stuff it was, I just thought for a little bit, and I was like, you know, I really got to turn it on. I really got to chase after the things that I want in my life too. So I'm really going to be working really hard this year for the next 2-3 years, just building relationships and hopefully, man, I'm really searching to get a Love Yours type record, like a record that is, you know, just a part of hip hop culture, a part of hip hop that we all sit back together and we say, that's a really good song. You know, I don't need a number one single or anything like that. I really want the song with some
impact.
Exactly.
And you just, you know what the funny thing about, you know, creating records with impact, it's like, that's the ultimate goal as producers, I think, and artists, obviously. But the funny thing about it is that you never know when it happens, and you don't realize that you're actually doing it. Like, you know, you mentioned Love Yours, like, that was really just like, you know, I'm sure Critical and Cardiac, when they put the piano chords together, that was just like another chord progression that they made out of probably 10 or 20 that day. And that was like one of like 10 beats that I made that day. And I made that, you know, in a random afternoon in my boxers at home, and like had no idea that at one day it would turn into like this really impactful song. And I mean, that's true for every song. So I don't know, I feel like those moments in the studio where you're there and you're just like creating randomly, you know, you got to sometimes sit back and tell yourself like, this, and at any moment now, one of these like moments could become like something that could change my entire life. And I don't even know it right now.
It's a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's
crazy.
the crazy thing about music, I feel, because, you know, we obviously interview a lot of producers, and they always say like, I didn't know that one was going to be the one.
Yeah, of course. You never
Exactly what I was thinking too.
You know, so you just never know. But like, that's what we aspire is, you know, impact.
Exactly.
You know?
Jacob, run down a list of some of your gear. FL Studio. What are some VSTs and plugins that you like to use that you're down to disclose for the peeps?
So yeah, one of the ones that I definitely think anybody looking to get into scoring or composing, check out Spitfire Audio. They make some really great sample libraries, and they have a instrument called Labs. It's totally free. It was actually a bunch of the piano sounds were all over the Beyonce Lion King soundtrack and some other stuff.
Nice.
So definitely go and check that out, download it, because you'll get some really scary strings and stuff. So if you want to build up that, you know, intensity in some of your pieces of music or stuff that you're doing for scoring. And then another big thing for me has been Analog Lab. And I have a special treat if you guys are willing to share it. I put together a playlist of like a bunch of the presets that I use throughout the doc. I'll share it with you guys if you want to. If you want
Absolutely.
to put in the liner notes or whatever, and then everybody can try, because yeah, I mean, at the
So
end of the day,
it's basically Arturia Analog Lab presets that you made and you used.
Yes, all
Very
throughout
cool.
the project, a bunch of cool
Nice.
synths and pads and arpeggiators. And then again, like, you know, I took all this from a hip hop perspective. So like I pitched them, I stretched them, I chopped them up, grow speed, all that type of stuff. So yeah, go take them, try them out for yourself, see what kind of what you can create. Because like at the end of the day, and I think we all know this, like once you look behind the curtain, you know, it's all the same gear that we're using. We just have to think about it a different way. And that's why I'm so happy that I found like the video player in FL, and I was able to like try all these new things that I've never done before. So yeah, just go out there and try it and see what happens.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Really, really excited to hear all the new stuff moving forward, man, with what you're doing. I'm assuming you're doing some more scoring stuff too?
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, my goal is to do more records, but at the end of the day, like if Black Panther 2 comes knocking,
Right.
Well,
yeah, no, I'm definitely down to do some more stuff for sure.
very, very cool. Amazing, man. Well, Jacob, where can they find you on social media in case people have inquiries or questions or want to buy beats or whatever it is? How can they find you?
My BFF, that's the wrong account. My best friend Jacob. You can find me on Instagram, mybestfriendjacob.com. I have a beat store and stuff. And yeah, feel free to like. I'm so open to just sharing any information, knowledge as much as I can. So like, if you have a question about this world, if you're producing or whatever, and you want to venture into it, like shoot me a DM. Like, you know, totally go for it. I'm down to share whatever I know, because I think it's really important that more people like us venture into the space and you know, make a killing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And Jacob, man, if you're in town, I'll be in Toronto in December for Pass the Aux. So pull up, man. Hit me up.
I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, please. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fun time. We're doing 2 nights.
Yep.
Oh wow.
It's lit.
It's lit.
It's lit.
It's gonna be cold as shit. I'm bringing 3 jackets with me.
3 jackets.
I'm gonna wear 3
That's
goose
cold.
necks at the same time with Gore-Tex boots with the silver tip on them. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Jacob, appreciate you, man. Round of applause for Jacob. Thank you
shout out
for
to
joining
Jacob.
us, bro.
Later.
Appreciate you, Jacob, man.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
for pulling up, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
We'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks.
All right, my dude. Peace. Wow, that was great, man.
That's so
Really
interesting.
insightful. Really insightful.
I do think definitely like within our community, like he's saying, like it's very overlooked.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that type of producing and, you know, scoring. Like people don't talk about that.
Well, it's because it's relationship based. So when you're a producer, the last thing on your mind is you're not thinking about like getting to know a director. You're thinking about, how do I get to Drake? How do I get to this?
Right.
How do I get
But
to
that's the
rappers?
interesting
How do I
thing.
sell my beats?
Yeah, that's what makes it, I think, like overlooked, because people want to focus solely on like when you think production is like getting placements, getting records,
Which is fine.
Which is fine,
Yeah.
yeah. But like people don't look at like that opportunity, because you can score shit for Netflix. You can score, you know what I mean? When you think about it, like eventually start doing movies. Like aside from people like streaming your music, they go to the theater and hear your shit on a big screen in a movie. That's crazy, but
It's
you know,
pretty remarkable.
it's interesting. I think it's a good way to like raise awareness so people can see that they're like that opportunity is there, because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he found where his value was.
Yeah,
And he was like, you know what? I'm going to use what I'm really good at. And even though I want to produce, I'm not going to really pitch that. Let me do what I'm really, really good at and use that to
but I do
produce.
like the fact that helps his production too. Like
Yeah,
you said, like
yeah,
that.
exactly.
That's what you know. That's what you want, right? Like you want to continue learning, you know, and expanding your sound, right? So that allows him to do that. Like he played with VSTs and certain things that he never really, like that he overlooked. And now he knows how to manipulate it to get a cool, unique sound that he can use in his hip hop beats. Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
That's dope.
Speaking of hip hop beats,
Dun, dun, dun,
dun dun dun, blap or crap, blap or crap. All
Blap or
right,
crap.
it's time.
It's time.
All right, listen up, guys. What we're about to do is our segment called Blap or Crap. In this segment,
I can't wait.
we are going to play, we're going to choose a beat at random that you submitted to us. We're going to play the beat, minute and a half. We're going to give you a little bit of constructive criticism, probably none. And if we like the beat, we're going to give you a blap. If we don't like the beat, we'll give you a crap, and we're going to shit all over it.
Brown paper bag.
Brown paper bag. But if it's really good, trust,
You get a blap.
props where props are due.
Shouting you out.
Blap. So if you want to submit your beat for this segment, Blap or Crap, all you have to do is email info@blapchat.com, subject line Blap or Crap, and we're going to go like that. So our first submission for today, we only have time for a few, but our first submission for today is by Cam1.
Cam1.
Okay, here we go. Omnisphere, baby. Okay. Shout to Cam1 with the submission. I like it.
You
I'm
like
not
that?
gonna lie.
I like it.
I'm gonna blap that.
Yeah, I like it.
I was torn. I was kind of like blap or crap because there's certain things about it that I think he could adjust. But overall, I was like, it's a dope vibe.
It's a good vibe.
You know, it had movement. I like the BPM. You know, I like the drums. Like, I think there's certain things about the drums that he can fix that for me, I feel like they need to be a little more present. And I think the piano sound could be mixed differently. Like, I just think that the drums can be more present, but I do like the type of drums he used. I did like the arrangement, although I think the drop came in a little too late. You could probably bring that in a little earlier. Yeah. But overall, I have to. I can't hate. I have to like blap it.
All the elements were there. I'm gonna blap it too because everything was there. I would definitely make some changes, like scaling back some stuff during verses. It's kind of formatted a little busy right now, but I like the melodies. I like the movement. I think it could turn into a cool song, so I'll blap it. Atlas?
I hated it. I didn't like it at all. I'm not gonna say hate. Hate's a very strong word.
Damn.
But you know what it was? It was that bass line of doom.
You didn't like it?
Doom, doom.
You know what that kind of sounds like, At?
Doom. I was like, God, you're putting me to sleep right now.
You know what that bass line sounds like?
Like, the programming was dope. I like the programming. The arrangement was cool. But if the bass line was popping more, I would have blapped it.
If the bass line was hallelujah.
Turn to your neighbor.
Hallelujah.
Damn, Ad, you really crapped it.
Yeah. No, because the bass line was, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was.
Okay.
Everything else I liked. The programming I liked. I liked the arrangement of it.
Leave it up
was
to Ad.
But that bass line, wasn't feeling that.
Like
Leave it up to Ad to not blap.
Peace be with you.
That. And also with you.
Hated it.
Our next submission is by Christian Bordy. Here we go. Oh, shit.
Okay.
The 80s. Ooh.
Okay.
It's a little dingy.
He's really kicking ass on that Casio keyboard, man.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I don't know.
All right, Christian Bordy. I didn't love it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it, but I'm gonna crap that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
gonna
agree.
crap it. I like the chop. I just the drums and the bass and the mix. It just you gotta get
It sounded
make
like
it good.
It was
man.
like a lot of like mid, like tick, tick.
Yeah, it's very ticky.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I didn't see a lot of movement. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounded. I hate to use the word dated, but it sounded like dated. It sounded like an old Casio keyboard, like plugins or something.
Yeah, for sure. All right, our next submission. Sorry, Christian Bordy. Our next submission is by Pat Gillen. All right, let's go.
Pat.
All the way from Sydney, Australia. Let's go.
I fuck with that so far. Oh man,
You got the
we still
soft
got time.
drums.
We still got time. We still got time.
I mean, although it's different. I like he didn't go trap.
Come in with something.
This is good for like a video game or like, you know, licensing.
I would agree.
You spit bars on this?
I'm not mad at it.
Amen. Hallelujah. Amen.
Josh is look at Josh.
Hallelujah. Yeah. I take the body of Christ. I take the body splice. I take the body of Christ. I take
One
the top
time.
of Christ. Motherfuckers, nice. You know my raps nice. Body.
Get the body.
Take the body of Christ. It's being
Nah, you had a little
downloaded.
flow there.
Downloaded for Splice.
Yo,
Downloaded
you
for
had
a
Splice.
little flow
Body
there.
of Christ. You know, flexing nice. You know, precise. Precise.
Got bars all day, baby.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not mad at this. I'm gonna blap that.
Hey.
Wow.
I'm gonna
Shout
blap
out,
that.
though. Blap. That's
I'm gonna
blap.
blap that.
Oh, she feeling
See,
it.
felt good.
you crapped
That's a-
fire.
Yeah, no.
Blap.
You crapped
Yeah.
fire.
That wasn't fire.
Music speaks.
That wasn't fire.
He said he hated
That
it.
was no. I mean, that was a little
that
harsh.
was a blap.
It was a little harsh. I didn't hate. I just hated
That was a blap.
the bass line.
I'm gonna
Everything
blap
else I
this
liked,
just
for the record.
because I don't know. It's a little different.
Yeah, it's different.
I would like to hear the drums boosted up a little bit. But I don't know. It was a different vibe. It was a cool, calm vibe. I can hear vocals on it. Like you had a little flow going there.
My
like
flow
I
was
can,
fire.
I can hear vocals on it, and it being like just a cool little, you know, joint on the album.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There you
it
go.
wasn't like, oh my god, but. I'm not gonna hate on it. Like it was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I see a vision for it.
Atlas sees a vision. What's your vision, Atlas?
Vision is a
Hates
brown
it.
paper bag.
Damn.
I'm figuring someone like lighting it up and putting it on someone's porch and running away, ring the bell.
Wow, Ad.
Yeah.
This change up was.
Dude, no, it was too many like
Yeah,
things
like
going
it.
on in there. I don't know. It was too
You know
many.
what?
I don't
You didn't have the rolling 808. That's why I was crap.
Nah. needs a rolling
Nah,
808.
even if it had it, I wouldn't have liked it. Even if it had, I wouldn't have liked it. I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't like I couldn't hear artists on there. It was very difficult.
I think this song has much potential to be something very cool, original. I like the melodies. I'm blapping it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Pat Gillen, good job, man. And if you want my flow, just hit me up. I'll invoice.
See, that's
you.
why he blaps it. See, he wants
Because
feature.
my flow is
He
fire. I
wants
need a
bars
feature.
on this. That's
Yo,
the only reason he
Atlas
blapped
be
it.
hating.
He only
Yeah.
blapped it because he
Atlas
wants to
is the
spit some
hater.
bars on it. That's really what he wants.
That's my
At the
ultimate
end
goal.
of the day.
Atlas said, "I hate it."
You hate it.
That shit was fire.
No, I didn't mean it like that. You guys, I'm a nice.
He said,
It's
okay.
funny because people think I'm like a mean guy when I'm like, no, I'm like
He
when
said-
you meet me, I'm a really nice guy.
Brown
That's
paper
really nice.
bag.
All right,
Damn.
our last submission.
wasn't feeling it.
Our last submission is by Noel, all the way from Argentina. Shout to Noel. Here we go.
All right.
People been coming with the good energy from the start. I
Yeah.
like that. Like the
Yeah.
way you guys been starting, I fuck with it. So
Like the last one started off really good, then it was just too much going on for me.
Yeah. Just doing some different shit. I like it.
Okay.
Let's see where it goes.
I like how the
Just some,
hi-hats
like-
are moving.
Yeah. Some like Tyler the Creator flow.
I really like how the drums are moving and like the hi-hats are moving with like
I like that.
the movement of the beat.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
You're ringing the bell, Hill.
Turn to my
Okay.
neighbor.
Amen.
You're ringing the bell.
Turn to my neighbor.
Amen. Motherfucker say amen.
Yo, Josh.
Motherfucker say amen.
Josh can't
Oh
take
my
it no
God.
more.
This is it.
Motherfucker say amen. It's hey man, not amen.
Oh,
Say,
okay.
hey man. Josh can't take it. Josh is
Motherfucker
like,
say
I'm
hey man.
done.
Saying hymen like a hymen. You know, hymen. You guys are just hearing it wrong.
Nah, I fuck with this too.
Okay,
I'm
that
gonna
was-
black that. You
that was
guys
cool,
came
yeah.
with some
Listen,
fire
guys.
today. You
Guys.
came with some fire.
Guys,
Don't listen
hold
to
on.
Atlas.
Hold on. Can I go first?
I'm
It's not
gonna
valid.
Can I go
blap
first?
that.
Can I go first? Can I go
It's
first?
not valid.
Can I go
Atlas gonna
first?
change his mind now.
No,
and blap
time
it.
out. Time
Okay,
out.
time out.
First of all.
He gonna change his mind and blap this.
Fuck you, because I was gonna blap it, because I do actually fuck with that.
Yes.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Fuck you, mean I love you. That's low love here. But no, I
that
actually
joint was-
enjoyed it. I liked
nah,
that it
that
was
joint was
weird.
fire.
I liked that it was using these like textures and it was dark and like gloomy.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like the arrangement. Like I was hearing Travis Scott actually
Yeah.
on that track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's how you know what I mean. Like it's going or Drake going on that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That was hard. I really enjoyed
Yeah,
that
it was
one.
hard.
Yeah,
What was
yeah.
the name of that producer?
That was by Noel from Argentina. So
Noel
good
from
job,
Argentina.
Noel.
Yo,
Yeah,
great
that
job.
was dope. Nah, I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna blap that for
I
sure.
like that one.
Yeah, so
I like
I'm gonna crap it. I didn't like anything about it.
Noel's like, fuck.
No, that was a blap. That was
Yeah, I
really
like
good.
that. I really
Original.
I like the BPM. I like the sample that he used.
The BPM really was fire.
Okay, but
Yeah, I like the BPM with. I don't know. It's just like the way he played with the drums. It gave it like a super cool groove.
Yeah.
You know, and like with the BPM, and I love the way the hi hats was moving. Meanwhile, everything else was.
You know what I loved?
Other speed.
You know what I loved? So remember I was bitching about the second one, which you guys blapped, which I liked everything except the bass.
So why you didn't blap it?
Because I liked everything except the bass. I have to love everything to blap it. I have
Yeah.
to love everything
Yeah.
to blap it.
I feel you.
If it's one thing off, the hi-hats can be off, I'm not blapping it.
Damn.
Yeah.
You could be singing and be off key on like the last note, and I'm done with you.
That's
You're dead to
crazy.
me. But listen, but on the second one, the bass was just like those two notes,
You're
right?
dead to me.
Now, but on the third one, this one that we love from Argentina, my guy, he had the rolling 808, which was nice.
He did have the rolling
Okay,
808.
it was
Like,
nice.
Yeah, the rolling
You
808.
see what I'm saying? But you know, he kind of it gave you movement.
True.
It gave you more movement in the track. So
No,
it's a
and
good
also
feel.
it's like cool when you do bouncy shit like this,
Yeah.
but you don't do the typical.
Yeah.
because he
That's
kept it really open at
kept
some
it
But
parts.
that's what I
very
liked
open.
about it. I like the bounce that he created
Yes,
with that,
yeah.
with the tempo.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I like the bounce.
So that was dope. What's his name again?
Noel.
Noel, that was hard.
Yeah.
Noel from Argentina.
Actually, CHLO beats. Yeah.
Oh wait, what is it?
CHLO.
CHLO.
So I think
Beats.
it's a Clo. Clo, maybe?
Clo Beats.
CHLO.
Clo
Clo
Beats.
Beats.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
dope.
shout out Clo Beats.
Clo Beats. Clo Beats. I like that name, producer name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck you guys, you put up my government, but it's cool.
Let's
you
do
know,
one
whatever.
more.
This was Noel Santiago.
What on Rodriguez?
Let's do one more. Ew.
All right, we'll do one more.
Let's squeeze in one
We'll
more.
squeeze in one more.
I'm
Let's-
interested in seeing if they're gonna keep the energy.
All right, so this is by Jose Lopez.
Okay,
All right, but what's
Raul.
the producer? What's the producer name? Oh, you can't give him the government. You got to give him the producer
He
name.
told me his name.
Oh, he said, okay.
No,
okay,
he
I'm
didn't. I
sorry.
read it from the email.
Hey, motherfucker.
I read it from the email.
I read it. Rodrigo.
Lopez.
You guys have to change
His
your
name,
email
his
name to
producer name is Term.
All right, term.
It's at T3RM underscore.
term.
Raul over
T3RM.
here.
Yo.
Or
Raul
it's
over
his
here.
turn. Or you can call him Jose Lopez.
He's like, bro, I got warrants.
Jose Lopez. My name's Jose Lopez.
Raul over here.
Yeah, it's Raul. Holla at me. Ooh, scary keys.
Okay.
I like scary keys. It's open. You can get some shit off. Okay.
All right, guys.
Yeah. You can get bars off on this.
I like this.
Why did it stop?
Yeah, I want to hear.
That was all he sent?
No, it stopped in the middle of the thing.
I fuck with that.
Okay, well, we get the idea.
I was a
Oh,
little
I wanted to hear
unsure.
more of it.
I was a little
I wanted to see
unsure
where
with
it
it in the
went.
beginning.
I wanted to
but
kind of see where it went.
For some reason, it stopped. Hold on. Hold your
Hold your horses.
horses.
Hold your
eh?
horses.
Raul over here.
Oh.
No, it's term. T3.
No.
Oh, no, I
not
lost it.
Raul.
Oh, here we go.
Raul.
Oh, Raul. Oh, no.
The car
Oh,
salesman.
the car salesman.
That's
Oh,
me.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me fast forward. Oh, I'm so sorry, listeners.
Damn.
Please don't unsubscribe. Please don't unsubscribe.
Just kidding.
Please.
Please.
Now I have to download it. Yeah, it's just for some reason it looks like it's a corrupt file because it just stops after that.
All right, should we just
exact
move
moment.
on? Because I don't think it was enough.
Well, we
to,
ran out of
Nah,
time.
that was fire. I'm gonna blap
I liked
that.
where that was going.
I'm gonna blap
I liked
that
where that was going.
for sure. I'm gonna blap that. I was a little unsure the first probably like
Yeah,
20 seconds of it.
yeah.
I like the sound that he used. I feel like the intro was a little too long.
Wait, we got it. Okay, here we go. Let me fast forward to.
There we go. Good.
Okay, there's a little change up.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
He's got some cool things happening
Yeah.
here.
I think when the kick first came in, I was
It's
a little
boring.
unsure. But then, like, when he brought everything else in, I fucked with
I
it.
wish the bass was up a little more too.
I don't know. My name's Josh and I got that hardcore. Yeah, you don't know. With the tie-dye shirt. Got that blue and the white dye dirt. Motherfucking know and a white dirt. Motherfucking know the night dirt. Night. John with the tie-dye shirt. Blue and white motherfuckers got hurt. Yo, I don't like my flow. My flow is so fire. Oh, you don't know. I make beats and I got my rap. Motherfuckers know, wanna fight, gotta scrap. Yo, I'ma punch you in the nose.
Black.
Blap. Told you I'm a fucking hot rapper.
Fucking beast out here.
I'm such a fucking
beast.
microphone.
Household jeans.
I'm a microphone phenom.
phenomenal, bro.
I'm so fucking phenomenal
Fucking
rap.
legendary.
Household jeans over here.
My
Household jeans. is
listen,
fucking
Household
legendary.
Jeans is a classic, bro. Like
legendary.
Household jeans, Raul
I got a
over
special
here.
place on my wall for that plaque, for that Household Jeans plaque.
Household
I
jean
mean,
Raul over
I'm
here.
telling you, co-produced. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Hilarious.
I think this beat could potentially be a really cool song with the right artist. My only wish is that it was a little faster. It's a little slow, and I think the sequencing could be better.
Definitely.
Like I think he should just come in with the full drums because it's too empty.
And it drags. The intro just drags.
It drags. So that was almost a blap for me. I wish I can blap it, but I'm gonna crap it. But like definitely a couple changes in there. You have the pieces. So
I'm gonna blap that just because I think it was cool. I see the direction. I would say to cut the intro for sure. It was a little too long, and I think when the drums came in, I thought it was gonna be whack. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Me
the
too.
first couple drum hits, but when he started bringing in the other instruments, it got more interesting for me, and I like the diversity of this. The patterns with the different drums, so I like that. And I definitely was just telling myself, like, I wish he would just speed it up, like at least 2 to 3 dBs. Not even like super fast, maybe.
Kind of dragged a little bit.
Yeah. But overall, it was cool. I see a direction for it, so I'll blap that.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be surprised. I'm actually gonna crap this.
oh,
That's not a surprise.
I know, I was just kidding. But I totally agree with you guys. I totally agree. In the beginning, it kind of dragged a little bit. I was like, oh, it's not good. And it came in. I was like, all right. I think he's almost ready for a blap. I don't think he's there yet.
Yeah.
true.
I think he's
fair.
I think he's strong. Like,
Yeah.
he's not the champion, but he's like ranked number 3 right now.
Yeah.
Like,
I would
he's
like
ready.
to see what
He's or he or she is definitely ready. They're almost there. I think the mix needs to be a little better. I think the bass needs to hit a little bit more. It's kind of faint in the back, but like, I like the arrangements. I like the sounds. I liked everything. It just didn't really hit for me. You know what
I would
mean?
like to hear what else he got, and
Yeah,
the
me
other
too.
guys too. I was pretty impressed by today's blap.
He sent a few. All I have to do is search my email for Jose Lopez.
Jose Lopez?
Jose Lopez.
Jose Lopez.
Yeah, that's a really cool name. I mean, cooler than all of our names.
Raul.
No, fuck that. My name is pretty cool.
Your name is pretty cool.
Fuck that shit.
Josh has a really cool name.
Josh, man, your name is legendary,
Josh.
bro. Josh from
J.
the fucking
Jules.
from the book.
Josh
The
from
Josh
the book.
book. Crazy.
Josh
Turn
from
to
the
your
book.
neighbor.
That has a ring to it. Actually.
Yo, Josh from the book, bro.
JoshFromTheBook.com.
10%, bro.
10% residual.
Let's go.
Sunset clause or no?
You know, hell yeah, always,
Always.
always need that sunset clause.
Always need a sunset clause.
We'll work it out.
Shout
Don't
out
worry
to our
about it.
listeners. My mic just went out. Shout out to our listeners. Episode 108. Make sure you leave some comments on your thoughts and questions. Shout out to Jacob for joining us.
Shout out, Jacob.
Appreciate you, bro.
That was
and
great.
we'll see you guys at the next episode, man. BLAPCHAT. Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Let's go.
Thank you for all the support, man. Hope
go.
you
And
enjoy
keep
your
sending
day.
us heat, yo.
Keep
That
sending
was
us
a
heat.
good
Yeah.
blap and
All right.
crap segment. I'm really
That was good.
Yeah.
I'm really
That was good.
proud of that.
We're overdue for an entire Blap or Crap episode.
Oh,
We have to
Keep
do
those
a
submissions
all
coming.
Blap
Get
and
ready,
Crap
guys. It's
episode
coming.
for
Info
sure.
at blapchat.com. We will see you guys soon. Peace.
Later.